Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Starks. I'm the Communications Manager for the City of Greenville. We know City Council meetings can sometimes be hard to follow, so this is your quick, straightforward recap of what happened at this week's meeting. Just the highlights and what they mean for you. So let's jump in. The meeting started with several presentations and recognitions. First, Mayor Ransom proclaimed June 22nd through June 26th as Boys and Girls Club Week in Greenville, recognizing the impact the organization has had on hundreds of local young people every year. The mayor also recognized a proclamation that recognized Juneteenth and its significance in American history, encouraging residents to reflect on the values of freedom, equality, and opportunity. Next up, Library Director John Hayden was recognized for being named a Texas Municipal League Leadership Fellow. Now, this is a statewide leadership development program for municipal professionals, and it's a significant accomplishment that reflects positively not only on John, but on the city as a whole. And finally, Council proclaimed June 12th as Dennis Mathis Day in the city of Greenville. Now, if you've been around Greenville very long, chances are you've crossed paths with Dennis Mathis. Dennis has actually spent decades helping preserve the history and character of our community through efforts like the South Hill Neighborhood Conservation District, the Park Street Historical Association, service on the Airport Advisory Board, and countless community events and volunteer projects. It was a really nice moment recognizing someone who has given so much back to Greenville. All right, moving into the action items, Council approved a reimbursement request through TERS number 1 related to infrastructure improvements associated with the future Cinemark development. Now, I want to spend just a little bit of time on this one because I know there have been some questions about it online. In this case, the developer paid up front to build streets, drainage, and other infrastructure improvements. Now, the agreement was that once the work was completed and all requirements were met, they would be reimbursed. Now, that reimbursement comes from a special TIRZ or TERS fund generated by growth within that development area, not from the city's general fund. So put simply, the growth in that area helps pay for the infrastructure that made that growth possible in the first place. Now, this particular reimbursement was approved in an amount up to about $2 million. So the payment for that, by the way, is only going to occur after all requirements of the development agreement have been satisfied. Council also approved updates to airport tie-down and hangar lease rates at Majors Field Airport. These adjustments help ensure airport operations remain sustainable and keep rates aligned with current operating costs. Council approved 2 encroachment agreements that will allow infrastructure improvements in areas where utility easements already exist. Now, one of those encroachments and agreements supports infrastructure associated with the Dakota Heights development, while the other one allows roadway, drainage, sewer, and water improvements that are actually being completed by the city of Saxe. Now, these projects and agreements actually help ensure that those projects, can move forward while still protecting the city's utility infrastructure and easement rights. Now, the one for the city of Saxe is actually an encroachment on one of our power lines. We actually have an agreement with Garland Power and Light, and one of our transmission lines is actually going across Merritt Road there in Saxe, and they're needing to do some work, and it comes into our encroachment. So we had to have an agreement put in place with them. Council also approved an agreement with Gresham Smith to pursue transportation safety grants. If awarded, of course, those grants could actually help fund future projects focused on pedestrian safety, trail connectivity, traffic calming measures, intersection improvements, and just overall mobility throughout Greenville. Now, part of that effort would also include studying possible improvements along Lee Street before any permanent changes are actually considered. Back at Majors Field Airport, Council approved replacing the Automated Weather Observing System. It's commonly known as AWOS. Now, this system provides weather information used by pilots on a regular basis and helps ensure safe airport operations. The replacement system will cost approximately $139,000 and will have an annual maintenance agreement of about $5,500 per year. It's going to help improve reliability, though, and reduce downtime for airport users. Next up, Council approved the purchase of recreation and spectator equipment for the new Sports Park Center in the amount of about $240,000. Now, this includes things like athletic equipment, recreation equipment, spectator amenities needed to operate the facility once it opens. I want to make it known, though, it is something that we always like to talk about, is this money is actually being paid through the voter-approved Recreation Center bond program. It's already included as part of the overall project budget. This is not over and above what we've already budgeted for. Council also approved an agreement with the Hunt Regional Occupational Health System to provide occupational cancer screenings for Greenville firefighters. This helps the city comply with state law while also providing another layer of protection for the men and women who serve our community. Council also approved an agreement providing access to critical illness coverage for employees through the Texas Municipal League Intergovernmental Risk Pool, as well as updates to the city's employee benefits policies. Council approved the City's Council subcommittee assignments for fiscal year 26 and 27. These assignments help organize Council's work throughout the year by designating members of the Council to serve on various committees and focus areas. Next up, Council considered its proposed goals for fiscal year 26 and 27. Now, these are annual goals that help guide decisions made by both Council and City staff throughout the coming year and serve as a roadmap for priorities, projects, and initiatives across the city. Now, Council ultimately decided to postpone consideration of adoption of these goals, so that way they could spend some additional time reviewing them before they adopt them. Council also postponed consideration of a proposed standard aircraft hangar lease agreement at Majors Airport. Council wanted also some additional time to review that agreement and ensure that it aligns with the priorities and goals currently being developed for the upcoming fiscal year. Council then approved an agreement with Bartlett and West for design work related to high service pumps at the North Water Treatment Plant. Now, the approximately $79,000 agreement is going to provide engineering and design services needed to support ongoing improvements to Greenville's water infrastructure. The consent calendar was also approved. Included in that package were the minutes, of course, from the previous City Council meetings, as well as a technology backup and disaster recovery services agreement. It's designed to help ensure continuity of operations and protection of city data. They also went into executive session, but following that, Council approved allowing the City of Greenville's extraterritorial jurisdiction, or ETJ, to be included within the proposed Hunt County Emergency Services District Number 1. Now, an ETJ is an area just outside the city limits where cities have limited authority for planning and development purposes. Now, inclusion in the proposed Emergency Services District would actually help support future emergency services coverage in that area southwest of Greenville. And finally, City Manager Summer Spurlock wrapped up the meeting with her monthly update. And just to give you a quick snapshot, city crews repaired 102 potholes, swept 354 miles of streets, cleared 14 intersections with line-of-sight obstructions, replaced 60 signs, issued 15 building permits, and issued 14 certificates of occupancy. And that's your quick recap of this week's City Council meeting. As always, if you'd like to take a deeper look at any of these items, you can find the full agenda and supporting documents at greenvilletx.gov. And remember, I'm not the maker, I'm just the messenger. So if you've got any comments or concerns, come see us at the next City Council meeting on June 23rd at City Hall at 6 p.m. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a few weeks.